Today, we're settling an argument that's been bouncing around the Steal a Brainrot community for way too long. Every server has that one player who swears they know a secret trick that doubles your luck, gives free brainrots, or somehow scares people into leaving you alone. The confidence is always at 100%. The proof is always "trust me, bro," and somehow half the lobby believes it. So today, I decided there was only one reasonable solution. I loaded into Roblox, grabbed a completely normal account, and started testing every myth I could find. No edits to make things look better, no cherry-picked moments, just pure chaos and whatever the game decided to throw at me. I figured maybe one or two myths would surprise me. Instead, I found people inventing mechanics that deserve an award for creativity. The first myth sounded simple enough. Apparently, if you stand completely still for a full minute after joining a server, the game secretly boosts your chances of getting something valuable because it thinks you're a new player. That already sounded like something invented by somebody who got lucky once and immediately started a podcast about statistics. Still, I stood there like a decorative lamp while players sprinted past me, carrying brainrots worth more than my entire inventory. People walked circles around me. Somebody asked if my internet disconnected. Another player tried pushing me across the map. After a full minute, I finally started playing, opened what I was supposed to open, and got absolutely nothing special. My reward for wasting 60 seconds was disappointment and public embarrassment. Safe to say that myth exploded faster than my hopes. The next one claimed jumping exactly 10 times before collecting anything increases your odds. I counted every jump because apparently I had become a professional kangaroo researcher. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. I grabbed the next brainrot, waited for the dramatic music that existed only inside the myth creator's imagination, and once again received the gaming equivalent of a stale cracker. I repeated it multiple times because maybe I counted wrong. Same result. The only thing that increased was the number of players staring at me, wondering why I kept bouncing around like I had discovered gravity 5 minutes ago. Then someone told me an even stranger rumor. If you equip your weakest brainrot before opening anything valuable, the game feels sorry for you and secretly improves your luck. That sentence alone should have set off every alarm in my head. Games do plenty of weird things, but they do not usually hand out sympathy prizes because your inventory looks sad. I equipped my weakest little guy, walked over with confidence, interacted with everything I could, and the game responded by giving me another collection of items that belonged in the recycling bin. If pity was part of the code, it definitely skipped my account. Then came the server-hopping myths. According to several people, joining exactly 3 different servers before staying in the 4th somehow lands you in a lucky instance. I don't know who counted that or why the 4th server became magical, but I committed to the bit. Server 1, nothing. Server 2, nothing. Server 3, still nothing, except loading screens. Finally, I reached Server 4, where somebody instantly stole the thing I was running toward. Incredible. The only consistent result was wasting enough time to age emotionally by at least a decade. My favourite myth so far involved spinning your camera in circles before collecting a brainrot. Apparently, confusing yourself also confuses the game. I spun the camera until I barely knew which direction I was facing. I looked like somebody trying to find their glasses while wearing them. I collected the reward and got the exact same average result as before. The game remained completely unfazed while I nearly gave myself motion sickness. At this point, I realized a lot of these myths shared one common ingredient. They sounded believable because people remembered the one lucky time they worked and conveniently forgot the other 99 failures. That's how gaming myths survive. Somebody gets insanely lucky, posts a clip, leaves out the 100 unsuccessful attempts, and suddenly the comments fill with people claiming they've cracked the secret formula. Another rumor claimed expensive avatars intimidate other players into leaving you alone. That one sounded less like a game mechanic and more like social psychology mixed with wishful thinking. I switched to a much fancier avatar and joined another lobby. Did people ignore me? Absolutely not. If anything, they targeted me even more. One player chased me halfway across the map with the determination of a movie villain who had finally found the main character. Apparently looking rich, simply painted a larger target on my back. Then I tested whether beginner avatars attracted less attention. The classic bacon hair look has somehow become Roblox's universal disguise, so I figured it deserved a fair test. I swapped outfits, loaded into another game, and surprisingly, people ignored me a little longer. Not because the game changed anything, but because other players underestimated me. That wasn't a hidden mechanic. That was people making assumptions. There's a huge difference. Next came one of the oldest gaming myths ever invented. Standing next to another lucky player supposedly transfers some of their luck to you. If luck were contagious, casinos would have gone out of business years ago. I found someone who had been pulling great brainrots all match and followed them around like an overly enthusiastic tour guide. They kept getting lucky. I kept getting average results. Congratulations. We successfully proved that good fortune isn't downloaded through Bluetooth. Then someone insisted playing with low graphics improves rare spawn chances because the game loads faster. That's one of those myths that sounds technical enough for people to stop asking questions. I lowered every setting, turned my game into something resembling a potato-powered slideshow, and continued playing. Performance changed. Luck did not. The game looked older than some Roblox players, but my rewards remained painfully ordinary. After hours of testing, a pattern started appearing. The myths that relied on hidden luck boosts failed almost every time. The ones involving player behavior sometimes look true because human beings are predictable. If players think you're new, they behave differently. If you look wealthy, they behave differently. Those aren't secret mechanics, they're social reactions. That distinction matters way more than people realize. Then I saved the biggest myth for last. Supposedly there was one specific strategy guaranteed to protect your valuable brainrots from being stolen. Everyone described it differently. Hide in corners, run in circles, never stop jumping, face a certain direction, walk backward. At this point I expected someone to tell me the moon phase mattered too. I tested as many defensive tricks as I could, and the reality was much simpler. Smart positioning helped. Paying attention helped. Watching nearby players helped. Random rituals did not. Success came from decision-making, not invisible bonuses. By the end of the experiment, my inventory looked decent. My dignity had suffered irreversible damage, and I had spent an unreasonable amount of time intentionally doing things that made absolutely no sense. Still, I'm glad I tested everything because gaming communities have an incredible talent for turning coincidence into absolute fact. One lucky moment becomes a universal rule, and before long, everyone repeats it without asking whether it ever worked in the first place. So after busting myth after myth, the biggest lesson wasn't about hidden luck or secret codes. It was that Steal a Brainrot rewards players who stay alert, adapt, and learn from what actually happens instead of chasing imaginary shortcuts. Sure, believing a funny rumor makes for a great story, but if your entire strategy depends on spinning your camera 10 times, jumping in place, wearing a certain outfit, or praying to the Roblox algorithm, you're giving randomness way too much credit. The next time somebody confidently tells you they've discovered the ultimate secret method, smile, test it yourself, and bring evidence. Sometimes you'll uncover a clever strategy. Most of the time, you'll uncover another myth waiting to join the growing pile of busted legends.